Hello and welcome to Right Side Pride. It's been a minute since we've been on here.
It's been a couple of
We're about,
weeks.
well, your
Not a
concept of it,
minute.
my minute identified as a couple weeks. Um, been a bit since we've been on here. We're looking to change things up a bit. Excited about a new segment that we're going to be doing. We're still going to try to have guests on and talk to them and, have that kind of back and forth
Yeah.
educational banter moments. But
Yes.
um, want to kind of change it up a little bit. I downloaded a video of something that happened recently. I'm going to put it live up here. We're going to have some commentary throughout this video. This particular one is with Kristi Noem testifying before the House Appropriations Committee.
Well, let's
And
do one with Tulsi Gabbard next time because she's hot.
I'll see what I can find. And I think is it Veronica Escobar, something Escobar, Texas representative. They kind of go back and forth. Um, we'll jump right into it. Start talking about this. And
That's Hector, by the way, and I'm Angela, by the way.
if aren't our names on there? Can they see our
Yeah,
names,
but
or is it just on our
what's
side?
wrong? I just like to introduce us.
Okay. Yeah. Well, here we are, and here we go. Let's just hop into it.
Okay.
Or try to.
The gentlelady from
This is our first one,
the floor is
so
yours for
bear
questions.
with us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Madam Ranking Member. Secretary Noem, thanks for being
I've
here.
not seen
Appreciate
this.
it. I'm proud to represent my border community of El Paso, Texas. Born and raised there, third generation border resident. My kids are fourth generation. I have a lot of questions, and I've structured
She gonna
them
post
in
her
a way
resume next?
that they should be simple yes or no. So I'm going to ask that you please respond as simply as possible so I can get through as many of my questions as possible.
So one of the things I really hate is when these, and it happens on both sides, but they preface it with, I'm going to ask you yes or no questions, only answer yes or no. And then they proceed to ask questions that are not yes or no questions.
Right, like have you stopped beating your wife? Or are you a monkey in a cage?
No, I've not stopped beating my wife because I never started. Well, now
Yeah.
reclaiming my time. Yeah.
Right. No time for filibuster.
Well, here we go.
My first question is, when the Department of Homeland Security makes a mistake, will you assure this committee and Congress that DHS, that you will acknowledge that mistake, take accountability for it, and rectify it, most importantly? Yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
and I'll
perfect.
follow back up with that question. I want to first, one of the first topics I want to talk about is what President Trump said recently: homegrowns are next. And I'd like to enter into the record an NPR story. Homegrowns are next. Trump hopes to deport and jail U.S. citizens abroad. I was happy to hear your acknowledgement that that is not legal, but I am curious about the reconciliation bill and the appropriations requests that you will make. Will any of the funding, either through appropriations or through reconciliation, be used to execute this policy idea of Donald Trump's, which is deporting U.S. citizens abroad?
Stop it right here. So she asked the question about Donald Trump saying he wants to deport American citizens or some nonsense like
I
that.
think it was the comment he made about jailing them. Is it possible
Right.
to jail them
Overseas.
in El Salvador or wherever else?
This Veronica person acknowledged that Kristi Noem said that that's not legal. We can't do
Right.
that. So her question is,
So
are you going to allow
she
it?
acknowledged that. Right.
What?
She acknowledges that she says that it's not legal.
These
At that
people,
point,
I swear to God, Trump is the best troll ever. All he says is something to set Canada's going to be the 51st state. He even did it yesterday to the new prime minister.
with the Prime Minister of Canada there.
Yeah, it's like, meh. So yeah,
So
he says something outrageous. We're going to buy Greenland next, and these people run with it.
so here is Kristi Noem's answer.
Deported any U.S. citizens, and so that false media narrative that you've heard out there just simply isn't true.
Well,
What I would say.
So my question, yes or no, will the reconciliation or
and the
appropriations
dollars
be
that-
used for that?
The reconciliation dollars that we've asked for is $175 billion that will be focused and is reflected
But
in
yes
what
or
the
no,
president
will it be
released.
used for those purposes which Donald Trump acknowledged
We're
is
going to continue to use the
policy?
authorities and follow the Constitution to
Okay,
implement
all
policies
right,
that will make
reclaiming
sure.
my time. I'd like to now focus.
So again,
So-
she doesn't get the answer she likes to hear.
Right.
She wants her time back.
And you know what the reconciliation money is, right? It's the
Explain.
money that basically the money that was appropriated, sent out, and they're asking for it back. The government's asked, the feds are getting it back, wanting it back. I do have one very important thing about this. I want to know who the lady in the back is texting, what she's talking about.
I
She
think she's ordering
ordering lunch?
Grubhub.
It's going to be a Domino's delivery guy show up.
No,
That's
it
mean.
would be the,
Okay.
the drone. The drone. You know how they're
The
delivering
Domino's
pizzas
drone.
with the drones.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear the next question.
Now focus on U.S. citizens who were deported. In fact, 3 children so far, likely more children. One of those children with cancer who was
I'll stop it in
deported
a bit.
without the medication necessary to address that child's cancer. Again, a U.S. citizen. The lawyers have said that they were not given, the family was not given an opportunity to make plans for the kids. And so they were deported, essentially, again, U.S. citizens. I have a question about.
Before she gets to the question, U.S. citizens deported.
They weren't
You
deported.
notice? Well,
They were sent
technically,
with
it's
their mother.
right.
Their mother took them with her.
Right. They count it. They being the Democrats count it as a deportation because we're sending them out of the country again without meds, without this, without that. But their mother wanted them. Trump
Yeah.
is keeping families together.
Yeah. What? So they want to separate. So their plan was what? Keep the kids here,
Throw the
prevent
kids
them
into
from
the
living
system.
with and prevent them from living with their mother. Which I
Right.
get it. Democrats want to flood the system with kids so they can use them for whatever purposes they choose. Evidently, but
We'll get to it in a minute.
sorry,
We have a music break brought to you by.
people from Iowa.
Oh, you know what Iowa stands for, right?
If only. No, I don't.
So, just a kind of a backstory. My brother who passed away like 34 years ago, 35 years ago, something like that. He had a girlfriend from Iowa. She came down. She was not the smartest or brightest bulb, out there. And my dad told her, "You know what Iowa stands for, right?" And she says, "No." And he says, "Idiots out wandering around." But yeah, let's hear her answer, and then we'll kind of get into
About the forms that ICE is supposed to utilize when engaging with parents who have children, the parents who are being deported, and the U.S. citizen children. One of those forms is ICE Form 71-078, or the Caregiver Designation at Arrest form. Were any of the individuals who were deported, who had U.S. citizen children deported with them, were they given an opportunity to sign that form?
When these, the specific cases that you're referencing with these children, it was the parents' choice to take their children.
And did ICE
Which it is the
follow
policy
through
of the
on the
Trump
policy?
administration to keep families together. That is what we have
Ma'am,
continued
reclaiming
to
my
do,
time.
is that
I
these
told you at the
children,
top of this,
the
ma'am,
parents took-
ma'am, reclaiming my time. I said the questions are really simple. Yes or no. Was that form used in any of those cases?
I will get back
yes
to you
or
on
no?
that
Okay,
specific form. I
perfect.
don't know the
Thank
number,
you.
but I do
That's-
know these mothers
Okay,
went on
thank
the
you.
record
The
filling
second
out
form,
paperwork
ma'am,
and in
reclaiming my
interviews
time.
reiterating
Ma'am,
they wanted to
please,
keep their
ma'am,
children with them.
reclaiming my time.
It's
I
ma'am.
hate
It's
these.
ma'am.
Well, I hate these smug looks they give.
Yeah.
As they're reclaiming. But it's so funny whenever she gave an answer that this person agreed with, she let her answer. But the
Right.
minute that, we're going to keep, the Trump administration's
You
policies
can't
to
do
keep
that.
families together,
It's
reclaiming
my
my time.
time. Our policy, the policy of the Trump administration, is to keep families together. She didn't want to hear that.
Right.
She wanted to hear we ripped them out of the
Uh-huh.
parents' loving grasp, just like what was that kid from Cuba when Clinton did it?
Elian Gonzalez.
Elian Gonzalez, yeah, ripped him right out of the closet. But that
Yeah.
was okay.
With guns at
Yeah.
gunpoint. All right, let's hear her reclaiming her time here.
I'd like you to avoid the filibuster so I can get to all my questions,
Answering
please.
your questions.
Filibuster.
So the second ICE form that I'd like to ask you about is ICE form 71-76, which is also it's pre-removal parental interests election form. Can you get back to me on that? Were all of the parents allowed to sign that? Are the parents allowed to speak to lawyers before they're deported, or to speak to their U.S. citizen spouses before they're deported?
They are given the opportunity.
And call whoever they
Okay, so
want.
you can guarantee that every one of those parents.
We followed all the normal policies and procedures.
So
and
they were
everything.
allowed
Every
to
case was
talk to a
handled
lawyer. That's a
exactly
yes.
as it is authorized.
Is that a
and laid
yes?
out by-
That's a yes.
Everything was handled appropriately and correctly.
But did they
in
all
every
get to
single
talk
case
to a
that you've
lawyer?
addressed
Okay, reclaiming
under
my
the
time.
policy.
Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, I'm out of time. I have a number of other questions we'll get to in the next.
So what
Okay.
part of we followed all the policy and procedures did she not understand? And also, they can call whoever they want. They want to call an attorney, call an attorney. They want to call a spouse, they want to phone a friend, they want to call Regis, and call whoever the hell they want.
Well, I don't think they're calling Regis, but
Is he
I'm not sure.
still dead? Is he dead?
Yeah, he's still dead. He's not
So he votes Democrat.
undead anymore. I just think it's funny, like we were chatting about that every time they don't get the answer they want, they reclaim their time. Every
Yeah.
time they come up and it's like a only yes or no. Those were not yes or no questions. Those
No, they
were,
weren't.
I'm going to bait you into this. So if you say yes,
Yeah.
I'm taking it this way. If you say no, I'm
Yep.
taking it this way. Either way, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But yeah, that's
It's so
this is
annoying,
kind of the
and that's politics, and I hate that. It's dishonest. Both sides, all politicians do
Mhm.
it. It's dishonest, and I hate that because they have an agenda instead of what's best for the American people, which should be their agenda. This see you next Thursday is only focused on what's best for an illegal alien.
Mhm.
What she's not an American citizen. Sorry, I take your cancer kid with you. I'm sorry. I hope your kid gets better. I would be crushed if my child was denied access to medical care. But if I put that child in that position, I would be crushed. I would do everything in my power to make sure that my kid could get that medical care legally.
and the child is an American. He was born on
Right.
American soil. The child, I believe, has an American father. Like, why couldn't the mom leave the kid here with that child, or with the father to
Who
continue
knows?
care?
Who
You
knows?
know,
I've
um,
not heard hiding her hair about the other parent, the father,
are you from Arkansas with that hiding her hair?
hiding her hair. I hang around Tracy too much. So
Um,
that reminds me of that the Maryland man
mhm.
that ABC is now not calling the Maryland man anymore. They're not referring to him as the Maryland man. I guess because they learned he's home. They're calling him the man from El Salvador. They're not describing him as the Maryland man anymore.
So this little segment here, I want to kind of start doing more of these, kind of getting a little
We need a
more.
name for this segment.
We can definitely come up with that. We'll probably cap it at about 20 minutes or so. Talk about different videos that do come through. Get feedback. Maybe have we could have other guests on as well, and
Yeah,
kind of have a video of a talk about
someone
the
with a
video. I'd love
good.
to have.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, we'll definitely be posting more, having more of these, and getting more feedback. I know this one was kind of our first trial run with this platform. We've been trying to do something like this, or trying to get this going for what, since about 5:30, and it's now 7:30 now. We've only been on for 15 minutes, so it's been
our,
a
our
it's
people
definitely
our
been.
people finally got it done though.
Yeah. Our people got it taken care of. It'll be much smoother. We'll have more structure, I think, moving
Yeah,
forward
and a
in this.
name
I'd like
and
to
a
do
name for it. I want a name for it.
and a name for it, absolutely. I'd like to do a few of these a week if possible. It's only 15 20 minutes, with more current events, kind of staying up on top of things. Things we want to talk about. And again, we'll still have guests on periodically, but it's just kind of a little shift in our platform. And I think it'll be a productive one.
Yep.
Um, on that note, people are probably wondering how you've been. How have you been?
I, I've been good. I've been good. I broke in. Oh, I didn't tell you. I broke in. That new bat I bought. The bat I bought. The bat I bought. Whew. It's toward the end of the day. Um, I took it to practice today and got 30 swings out of it. So probably another 200 more, and I'll be good to go.
30 swings, but how many of those actually hit the ball?
I, I didn't count, but I got 30 swings. It's a good
um,
bat. I can see it's lighter than the one I have that I usually
mhm.
use. So there's an adjustment, but yeah, good bat. Oh,
Awesome.
yeah, I've been good. How about you?
Good. Just getting ready for getting stuff together for Worlds. We have a tournament in Austin this month, end of this month on Memorial Day weekend, and got to start putting all our ratings and kind of finalizing our roster for the World Series in Houston in September. So
When is the drawing for
June
my money?
June 1st. June 1st. We're currently up to, I think, 680 or 690 total. So that would be I think 345 a piece right now. So
Are you doing the electronic spin thing?
no, we're gonna do an actual pull the ticket out. Um, Pull the ticket out of the. Right now, I have it in a bowl. So whatever, depending on how many more people buy, that'll determine kind of what kind of contraption we'll be pulling it out of. But there are many places that we could put it in to, you know, have
A
enough room
bucket,
for
a
all
ball
of them.
bucket,
I don't have one of those, but definitely, as we sell more, we'll
fishing
have to get
bucket.
that. Um, cool. Well, we will get this posted here, I guess, shortly, and
Shortly,
or so. But again, we'll be on more. We're just kind of
more often.
wait, wasting time right now.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be more of a get in, get down to it, and talk about what we're talking about, and then cut it at that, so y'all aren't listening to us blow V8. Again, we are looking forward
I
to that.
love that word.
I do too. We're looking forward to the new segment. I think it's going to be fun, educational as well, kind of keep us up on current events. And yeah, so I was about to say any questions, but
No, I have none. No comments, no questions, no comments or concerns.
good. Well, hopefully we can get another episode in, in the next day or two or so,
Or
and
so.
kind of go from there.
Okay.
Does Angela have any final words?
Uh, Angela does not. Be good humans. That's it. What about Hector? Adios.
Said today your Right Side Pride hosts have been and still are Hector Barrera and Angela Tapia. Right Side Pride was produced today by our ever mysterious producer Roz. Right Side Pride is happy to have you here and thank you for tuning in.